Hello everyone and welcome back to Voxel Tales. My name is Dan and you join me today at what will eventually become our storage warehouse. Last episode I said that I'd start laying down a few blocks to get an idea of what the building was going to look like, and after some experimenting I think I've got a reasonable idea in my mind. I'm taking some inspiration from the Ducie Street warehouse in Manchester. It's an ex-cotton warehouse built in 1867. I love the Victorian bricks and mortar aesthetic. It really reminds me of home. As you can see, we've got a long way to go before this thing starts to resemble a warehouse. But before we crack on, remember how we happened upon that massive skystone meteor last episode? Well, it's gone now. I fully mined it out. There was something mysterious in the middle which I've left to show you, but we'll get to that in a bit. Before that though, I've realised that we're going to need some sandstone for this build, and while we could set up a machine to make some for us, it's been a while since I took Philo out, so I think we're just going to fly her over to the desert we marked on the map ages ago. Now I haven't mentioned this, but Philo isn't hanging out in the stables with Juan, Dos and Torres anymore. Nope, I've moved her into the upstairs section of the barn. There's a zomble in there. Nope, now he's after me. And he's on fire. Where's my flipping sword? Great job, Dan. You know what's always a good idea? Actually having your weapon on your hotbar. Anyway, as I was saying, Philo lives up here now. Hi, Fee, how are you? I know! Do you want to go on a trip? Of course you do.
So, now you're gonna awkwardly fly her out the front door?
Oh no, I have something much better in mind. Oh yes, we have roof access. Thunderbirds are go. Yeah, if when we built the barn you were wondering what this bit was at the back, well, now you know. It was to hide the roof mechanism. Anyway, to the desert, which I'm pretty sure is this way. In fact, I'll just turn on the waypoint to be sure. Yeah, this way. Off we go, Fee. And here we are. Nothing but sand, sand, sand and sand for miles. Good job, Fee. Right, you know the drill. Don't go far, and I'll go get what we need. So, leaving Philo to her own devices, I got up to some good old-fashioned mining. On top of all the sandstone I was gathering, I came across a decent amount of terracotta of various colours and decided to gather some of that up as well. Which was going really well. Until it wasn't. Oof! Well, good job I made those long full boots, or my shins would have just been formally introduced to my shoulder blades.
Well, this is another fine mess you've gotten me into.
We'll be fine, it's just a massive underground cave full of lava. What's the worst that could happen? Further exploration revealed I wasn't the first person down here. Oh, Jesus! Thanks, Mimic, I really needed that heart attack. Needless to say, I made short work of that little bugger. Ooh, what are you? Crystal heart. Sorry, Duck Egg, that thing's far more exciting. The chests that weren't mimics contained copper, iron and gold, and in honour of those that had died for it, I had it away. No, Spider! Bad Spider! No! That is a no! After fending off a zombie, skeletons, and a gang of creepers, I decided that I was done with this place for now and it was time to leave. While trying to find a way back up, I stumbled upon my first amethyst geode. Oh, hello. Ooh, sparklies. It would have been rude not to take some amethyst home with me. Then when I realised the whole geode was surrounded by calcite, I marked the location on my map to come back and mine it all out properly at some point. Not to mention that there was a locked gold chest right next to it that needed further investigation. I mined and pillared my way closer to the surface, and eventually came across this altar-looking thing that again bore further investigation, and marked that on my map. After a lot more climbing, and more swimming than you'd expect, I finally mined my way out of the caves. Haha, the surface! And it's thrown it down. Must have known I was coming. Whatever. Hopefully Philo's not wandered off because I took so long. In fact, Philo had been a very good girl and was patiently napping right where I'd left her. Sorry to wake you, girl, but we gotta go home now, okay? Alright, Phi, there's the barn. Just like we practiced, alright? Oh, steady, steady. Well, it wasn't perfect, but any landing you can walk away from, eh? Right, let's get this roof closed up. Nice. After leaving Philo to rest, I went home and equipped the crystal heart I'd found, gaining a 5-heart increase to my life bar. Then in the basement, I established that a suspicious eye that the mimic we fought earlier had dropped could be combined with a suspicious key to make a friendly key, which would allow us to make a pet mimic. So I made a suspicious key from some of the broken key bits we'd found on our travels, and then made a friendly key. Setting it aside in our magic chest for now. We've already got luggage after all, and it's not like we need 2 sentient chests. I also finally made Ash a name tag. Hey big guy, look what I've got for you. There you go, now you're all official. Anyway, now I had the sandstone, I figured out the window design and we could get to work on the warehouse. Okay, fast forward a little bit and there's another snowstorm on the go, and I've built some more of the entrance. I've also realised that we need more space than I guesstimated, and so I've run the chunk heater down this side to give us more room to work with, and we'll no doubt have to do the other side as well. I also realised that we're wasting a heck of a lot of time walking back and forth between locations, so I've installed some waystones to help us get around more efficiently. This isn't a permanent solution, I like riding Ash around etc, but for now it lets us get over to the power station quickly. Which is good, because it's where I've set up a brick making station. It's a bit manual right now. I basically dump sand into this barrel, it goes into a vault and gets spat out into the washing station. Sand gets washed and the tunnel is set to only let clay balls pass into the bulk smelter to be turned into bricks, where they eventually get deposited in this drawer. I currently have to run cobble and then gravel through this crusher setup to get sand, and then move it over to the barrel. It's all a bit of a pain really, and I'm gonna have to automate it at some point. I then proceeded to stand there like a lemon for ages, grinding up sand for the brick maker. Thank God for editing, eh? Once I had some bricks to work with, I crafted them up into brick blocks, and headed back to the warehouse, where I quickly decided that I'd been right about the other side needing to have the chunk heater treatment. So I made some quick calculations on where to place the machine.
This won't end well.
And when I put it down, discovered I was 3 blocks off on my depth calculation.
Oh, well that's not bad I suppose. At least you didn't wreck out.
I love watching this thing go, it's very satisfying. I mean, there's a few odds and ends to clear up, but nothing major. Beats doing it manually anyway. There, that should be loads of room now, and I can quickly clear out any debris with the quadricopter. We somehow got this chunk left in the middle. Well, that won't do, now will it? There, better. Right, hello again. Time has passed. Not a huge amount of time, but I have made some progress. In fact, it's probably easier if I just show you from the air. So as you can see, I've figured out how long the building's going to be and laid out the wall foundations for one whole side and some of the back. I've also moved in some of our storage. It's all temporary right now though, I'm sure the final layout will be much different. For now I've just got a bunch of the stone over this side, and I made a few of those 4-slot drawers over this side for things like flowers and saplings and seeds, because realistically I'm never going to have thousands of them. Well, at least I don't think I will anyway. Right, I think the next big job is to get the rest of the floor in. Should be exciting. I'm only joking, I'm not going to make you watch me lay in a floor. Right, about an hour and many heavy tough bricks later, and we have ourselves a floor and a final, pending any necessary alterations, layout for the ground floor. Bearing in mind that this place is going to be at least 2 stories tall and we should have storage space coming out of our ears. Right, on to the next bit. So I've come to the conclusion that there's no way in this world, or any other world for that matter, that we're going to get this warehouse finished with our current brick making system, so I'm going to automate production. Step 1 in that plan is using our auto-crafter array to make some more crushing wheels. Nice. In fact, we're going to need 4. Well, that didn't work. I guess smooth stone isn't classed as stone for this recipe. Once more with feeling. There we go. Right, it's snowing again, and this is going to take some figuring out, so I'll bring you back in when I've got it running. Okay? Okay. Alright guys, I think we've got something. We have a cobblestone generator feeding into crushing wheels for gravel, then into crushing wheels again for sand, clay balls and flint. I put a smart chute under the belt earlier to extract the flint and prevent it backing up the wash and smelt station. And once we pass through there, we should be getting bricks. Which we are. Excellent. Look at that, Ma. I built a thing.
Get a real job.
Shush. I'll pop some lava into the flint hole so we don't end up with a load of items lagging everything. Alright, I've crafted up a few stacks of bricks, and in between recordings I've installed some of these drawer connector things. They do exactly what you'd expect and connect groups of drawers together. And then with this drawer access point I can deposit anything that already has a drawer into the system, and it will automatically be transported into its drawer, which is rather nifty. Allow me to demonstrate. I'll just take a stack of walnut logs out, drop it in there, et voila! It's back in its drawer. Marvellous. So, something else occurred to me in between recordings. While ever I wasn't over here at the power station, the brick maker wasn't loaded because it's too far away, and so it wasn't making me any bricks. To fix that problem, I made one of these chunk loaders from the Keybay mod. It was pretty easy to make, just needing 3 eyes of ender, gold blocks, obsidian, and an enchanting table. And it lets me keep a 5x5 chunk area around it loaded. Although, in this case, I've just got the 3x4 area around the power station enabled. Back over at the warehouse, I finally started laying some bricks.
This is gonna take forever.
I'm aware. This is my life now. Bricklaying. Right, that's once all the way around.
Just a couple hundred more to go.
Cheers for that, Brain.
Anytime.
Then, just like that, I was out of bricks again, and in desperate need of a distraction. So I went to the Meteor crater to check out that stuff I mentioned leaving there earlier. See? Told you there was something mysterious. Says so on the box. I tried picking it up with the carry-on mod, but it didn't seem to want to budge. So I went to test the mod was working on this convenient squirrel. Well, I could definitely pick things up. So, having established it was unpickable, I went back and busted it open with my pickaxe, which gave me 4 inscriber presses: logic, engineering, calculation, and silicon. This was all starting to sound very complicated for my small brain. The platform I was on was covered in and made of something called Certus quartz, so I gathered it up. But like an amethyst geode, some of the platform was made of budding quartz blocks of varying quality, and not wanting to break them, I went back to the basement, made a diamond pickaxe, took a quick XP shower, and enchanted it with Silk Touch. Disappointingly, I ended up damaging them anyway, reducing the chipped one to damaged and the flawless one to flawed. Bugger. Still, it is what it is, I suppose. It's not like I could just pick them up. Hopefully they'll still be good for something. Anyway, back to the grind. And so, more bricks were collected, crafted, cut, and placed. I thought for a second I'd get to make a window. But I didn't have enough stone and had to smelt some, and that's when it happened. Okay, so don't be mad, but I may have made the teensiest of errors. Last night, I decided to stay up and power through recording this build. Except when I went to check how long I'd been recording for, yeah, I hadn't been recording at all, and now the first floor is practically done, and I have no footage. Sorry guys. While I was waiting for bricks to smelt, I looked into these inscriber plate things that we found, which led me to finding the inscriber, which was made from sticky pistons, iron, and copper. And you've probably seen from my hotbar that I made one. There it is. Haven't figured out how to turn it on yet. I also spent ages going through the index looking for Applied Energistics stuff, because there's no manual to make. I can't remember what page it's on, but I did find it eventually and discovered something called a charger. And it's literally just copper and iron to make one. I've got iron on me, so I figured we'd jump over to the basement, grab a bit of copper and make ourselves one. Of course, they still need powering, and there's no power over here. So let's pick them up and take them somewhere there is. Not that I think we can use that power. What followed was a lot of trying to get power to the charger. This included searching the index for a generator, of which there were many, none of which seemed to have anything to do with the charger. After a little think, I tried searching for electricity, which led me to the Crafts and Additions electric motor. It frustratingly seemed to do the exact opposite of what I needed, and let me power create things with a non-create power source. However, further investigation led me to the alternator, which takes power generated by create and then outputs it to non-create equipment. Just what we needed. It needed a few bits we've never made before, like a spool of copper wire, which was an iron nugget sandwiched between two iron plates. Easy. And then wrapping an empty spool in copper wire, which was copper sheets run through the rolling mill. Also easy. It also needed a capacitor, which was a zinc sheet, copper sheet, and a redstone torch. No problem at all. Then all that went into the autocrafter to give us an alternator. Alrighty, let's plug this bad boy in. Bugger, that's overstressed it. It took longer than I care to admit, but I eventually fixed the overstress with an extra steam engine and some creative gearbox wrangling. There we go, power's back on. So at this point you're probably thinking, right, stick the charger next to the alternator and hey presto, all powered. Oh, you sweet summer child. No. In fact, what you have to do is combine copper rods, slime balls, and andesite alloy to make connectors. Then you have to waste ages trying to connect the alternator to the charger using the connectors and wires, and using the wrench to set the connectors to all their various permutations. Only after you've tried to figure it out for what feels like forever, going so far as to make sure the charger doesn't need to be connected from the bottom, and only after even more of what's left of your rapidly receding hairline has been torn out in frustration, only then can you discover that Applied Energistics has a device called an energy acceptor that you have to put in between the charger and the alternator to convert the FE it produces to the AE power the charger needs. And then, once you've finally crafted the quartz glass you need to make the acceptor, and you have it in your hands, only then can you connect it all together to power the charger and it be online. Once you've achieved this feat of engineering and electronics prowess, you will realise that aside from knowing that you can use it to charge crystals, you have no real idea what any of this is for, that the episode has gone on way too long, and you still have a warehouse to finish. Thank God for editing. Alright guys, that's enough for this one. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the show, then help us grow by subscribing or leaving us a cheeky like or a comment below. I've been Dan, this has been Voxel Tales, and remember, be good. And if you can't be good, don't get caught. Bye guys.